Alright, so in this video I'm going to discuss a really cool little tool called Find and Recode. It's tucked away in the Advisor drop-down menu, all the way to the bottom, Find and Recode. What's really cool about this little tool is you can find and select an entire group of transactions and you can recode them, boom, in bulk. It's amazing. It really can get you out of a jam if you happen to make a mistake and you need to fix it. But just to explain this a little bit further, what you do is you go to Advisor, Find and Recode, and you hit this Find and Recode button. And there's really two things that you can do with this, and obviously it's in the name, but you can use it to find transactions and then you can use it to recode. And I know that sounds self-explanatory, but sometimes I actually like to use this Find and Recode tool instead of using the global search. Sometimes this Find and Recode tool is just a little bit more granular than the global search. So if you're trying to match really specific conditions for transactions, maybe certain dollar amounts in certain accounts, you'll see what I mean in a second. So what you can do is you can add a condition. So let's say the account is travel. What you can do with this first drop-down menu is if you just have one condition, you can do account is travel and you hit search and it'll find all of the transactions in the accounting system that match up the criteria. So all of the transactions in the travel category. But let's say I wanted to do a transaction total is more than $100. So when it hits search, what it's doing by having find transactions that match all of the conditions rather than any of the conditions, it's going to show me only the transactions that are over $100 and in the travel account. So if I type in any, it's going to give me a whole different set of transactions. It's going to show me every transaction that's all the transactions in the travel account, but also all the transactions that are more than $100. So kind of use that sparingly. Generally I use the all button, but what's really powerful about this tool is you can do really granular searches, add more and more conditions based on the account that it's in, the date, the transaction total, even who entered it. And then what you can do is go ahead, you have two ways to select, well actually three, so you can select that line by line item, or if you see down here it says 100 items per page. So let's say if there were more than 200, if there were more than 100 items, what you could do is select all of the items. So if this was 850 items, you could select all 850 items with this button. So every transaction that meets this criteria. So I'll unselect that, or what you can do is just click this button right here and it will select all the items on the page. So there's three ways to select a transaction, and then there's two ways to recode it. So with this drop down, you can recode it transaction by transaction at the source level, or you can use one big journal to recode it. Generally, I don't recommend using the journal. Just go ahead and click recode source transactions, or shortcut, just hit recode, and it's going to recode the source transaction. So you have an option here. How do you want to recode these 85 transactions? You can change the contact on them. You can change the account on them. So say we don't want this in travel, we'd rather have this in automobile expenses. We can change them all simultaneously to automobile expenses. You can change the tax rate, or if you set up tracking categories, you can change the tracking category too. Let's say we want to change it all to automobile expenses. We'll hit review and then we'll hit confirm. And once the confirm happens, you can't go back. So it's locked in stone. But you could potentially recode all the automobile expenses back. But once you hit confirm, it'll take a minute or two, and boom, you knocked out 85 transactions, recoded them in a hurry. So anyways, really cool tool. I really encourage you to play with this, especially if you need to go back and change stuff in bulk. This is a perfect tool to do that. And I'll see you in the next video.